Alright, having established that water with a high mineral content in it contributes to the scum and brown problem, I wanted to proceed on with Plumber silicone grease here to see if a silicone based product would add to the scum and gunk issue. So I'll just take a little bit and work it off my finger here until it falls in the water. Come on, get off there. Yeah, just like trying to get a booger off your finger. There you go. Now this stuff will barely float, and we're just going to run this test and see if we get brown scum and assorted gunk. Should have had at least one lead already attached, but that's alright. Nobody minds me making a fool of myself but me. I'll get on there. And start the test. .79 degrees in the water. 1 dollop of silicone grease. And I'm running about 14 amps. Well, I messed up the test a little bit. I should already have 3 minutes on the clock, but I forgot to start it. I'm already at 85 degrees, so I'm rapidly increasing temperature. This may be a short test again today, but at 3.5 minutes, I don't see any evidence of scum yet. At 8.5 minutes, I notice the formation of brown on the shoulders of this jar on the inside and a little bit around the edge. I don't yet see any scum, but I am seeing brown form. Now this may be due to the fact that I'm reusing some water. About 10 minutes into the test, don't see any brown. I have 97 degrees in the water. The silicone grease is still floating in a glob. Doesn't look like it's melted or anything. I'm a little over 12 minutes on the test. The brown that's formed on his shoulder is quite distinct. There is no scum inside. The silicone grease looks pretty good. At 13 minutes, I note that I am now starting to see large amounts of brown floating in the water. It's not attempting to, or excuse me, circulating in the water. It's not attempting to float, although it tends to come to the surface and then get circulated back down. At about 16 minutes, I note no changes in the silicone grease. There is definitely brown. There is definitely no scum. And the temperature is 108 degrees. At about 20 minutes, I see no distinct change other than maybe the concentration of brown is increased. I can see particulates suspended in the water. They are not floating on the surface. The size of the silicone grease daub is about the same. I don't see any change. At 25.5 minutes or about that, I've hit 125 degrees in the water. The silicone grease is showing no signs of melting or disappearing or dissolving into the water. There is definitely particulates in the water, but they're not forming a scum. There is no scum. At just under 30 minutes, I see particulates. They're just floating around in the water. They're not attempting to float on the surface. The silicone grease appears unchanged. The temperature is 132 degrees. It's just about 36 minutes, 141 degrees in the water, and no changes to anything. There's no scum on the surface. The particulates are brownish in color, and the little daub of silicone grease, the daub of grease floating on the water, showing no evidence of melting. As you can see, during this little intermission where the charger is overheated, there is definitely brown in the water. It's a particulate. It's not trying to float on the surface as it does with ordinary hard tap water. The temperature right now is 148 degrees at about... Okay, I had to abort the test at 58.5 minutes. I was sitting at 150 degrees at that time. The reason I had to abort was my trusty battery charger overheated on me. I'm tempted to restart the test, but I think the only thing I was trying to prove at this point was what is the actual melting temperature of the Plumber silicone grease. It can withstand 150 degrees. I saw that. I see a lot more brown particulate. I'm not sure if it's because I reused water. I think it is. I do not believe that it's because of the grease.